Heavy rains caused flash flooding in the southeastern Australian state of Queensland. In some places, 300 millimeters of rain fell in just 6 hours. Rescue responded to more than 100 requests for help. Swiftwater Fire and Rescue responded to numerous incidents of cars stranded in floodwaters. The Queensland Bureau of Meteorology reported more than 300 millimeters of rainfall in a 6-hour period in the Gimpy area. A flood warning has been issued for the Mary River. Mount Wolvie received 424 millimeters of rain in the past 24 hours, Pomona received 356 millimeters, and Cedar Pocket Dam received 354 millimeters. Queensland Police urged motorists not to drive out of Dam unnecessarily. However, at least one person died and one other person is missing after cars were washed away by floodwaters. Local media, citing Sunshine Coast Police District Officer Craig Hawkins, reported that 10 more people were missing in the Noosa hinterland area. New Jersey, USA, was hit by flooding caused by rain and a burst water main. Heavy rains caused flooding in the settlements of the American state of New Jersey the day before. One of the hardest hit was the city of Newark, where rescuers had to come to the aid of motorists stranded in the water on flooded roads. And there was also a water main break on a street in Newark, which was as bad as the natural flooding. The flooding halted traffic on some major roads and highways, and traffic was rerouted due to flooding on some highways and exits. A terrible storm and flood hit the Taif Desert, Saudi Arabia. Incredible moments of melting abnormal hail and torrential rain, where the strongest torrents of water, turn downhill into rivers, rushing through the Saudi desert south of Taif. Storm and flooding in the desert. In Saudi Arabia, a powerful downpour and hail have turned a wasteland into a lake. The frighteningly impressive footage posted by users from the Arabian Peninsula is stunning and frightening at the same time. After all, the Taif Desert in the kingdom was simply flooded. Severe abnormal precipitation, both rain and hail, which struck the central regions of Saudi Arabia have turned the desert not just into full-flowing, but into immense rivers with the strongest streams of water. The roads became a muddy mess and the desert from the realm of sand became almost a kingdom of rivers and lakes. Importantly, such floods are not uncommon in Saudi Arabia. The National Meteorological Center said that thunderstorms, hail, flooding and, in some places, dust storms would be dangerous for several days. Meanwhile, the likelihood of fairly heavy rains, and thus more floods will remain in most parts of Saudi Arabia until the end of next week. Authorities are urging people to be extremely careful. First and foremost, this applies to drivers who may be caught in the floods on the road. As a result of the wildfire, residents in parts of Laguna Beach, California, USA, are under a mandatory evacuation order. According to the Orange County Fire Chief, the fire, caused by high winds, has already destroyed about 60 hectares of land. There have been no reports of casualties, injuries or damage to structures yet. The fire was reported shortly after 4 a.m. Firefighting aviation was involved in extinguishing the fire. Laguna Beach is on the coast about 65 kilometers south of Los Angeles. Southern California is experiencing unusually hot weather combined with Santa Ana winds. Scientists say this weather is caused by global warming, which exacerbates wildfires. In California, the fire season has gotten longer in recent years. Intense fires in the Amazon region of Colombia this year are associated with deforestation to clear land for cattle breeding, illegal mining and other purposes. Environmental organizations are sounding the alarm. Fires have been observed in the provinces of Caqueta, Meta and Guaviare, in the so-called Colombian arc of deforestation, and are spreading to national parks and parts of the Amazon rainforest. According to the Director General of the Foundation for Conservation and Sustainable Development, the intensity of the fires is higher than we have seen in many years, which is a very worrying sign. According to the Ministry of Environment, January was the hottest January in the Colombian Amazon biome in 10 years. The hotspots could also indicate a rise in temperatures during the country's dry season. The human rights group Amazon Conservation has detected a large number of large fires using its own monitoring app. Another dust storm from the Sahara is moving from the west coast of Africa to the Atlantic Ocean, the third such storm in 2 weeks. The Spanish National Meteorological Agency has declared a yellow level of weather danger. Staying outdoors for long periods of time is dangerous to your health. Satellite images showed a huge cloud over the Canary Islands and Madeira. The settlements suffered from a high concentration of dust in the air. According to the information, 2 weeks ago, a dust plume of about 4,000 kilometers long was formed, stretching from the coast of Mauritania to Ireland. The USA National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is tracking dust from the Sahara over the Atlantic. This phenomenon is caused by the mass of dry air that forms over the desert throughout the year. The dust drifts westward across the Atlantic more often and sometimes moves northward into Europe. As a result of climate change and warming ocean water, Africa's annual dust emissions will fall to their lowest level in 20,000 years over the next century. Approximately 60 million tons of mineral dust rise into the atmosphere from the Sahara each year. Winds carry it across the Atlantic, nutrients into the ocean and onto vegetation in South America and the Caribbean. Powerful storm damages homes in western Malaysia. A powerful storm left devastation in the Malaysian city of Ipoh. Powerful winds tore shingles off homes and down power lines. It is currently unknown how many households were affected by the storm. Some residents have described the elements as a tornado collapse. People note that they haven't seen anything like this in the area in the last 50 years. Fortunately, there were no injuries. The first hurricane of the new season is forming off the coast of Mexico. We recently reported on the forecast for a high-activity hurricane season in the Atlantic. At the same time, the USA National Hurricane Center published a forecast that hurricane activity in the eastern Pacific is predicted with a 60% chance of being below normal values. Nevertheless, it is likely that the first hurricane of the 2022 season will form there. The USA National Hurricane Center reported today that a deepening tropical depression is forming in the eastern Pacific. It has not yet reached the level at which an atmospheric vortex gets its own name. But projections suggest the cyclone will reach tropical storm level by tonight, earning the name Agatha, before becoming a Category 1 hurricane by Sunday night, before hitting the southwestern states of Guerrero and Oaxaca by Monday night, along with neighboring regions, bringing hurricane-force winds, heavy rainfall, thunderstorms, and coastal flooding.